Hello viewers, I am Jesse and today I'll be reviewing Hatred on the PC. Quick disclaimer before we start, the review code for this game was given to us for the purpose of this video, so thank you very much developers. And with that being said, let's start this review.
My name is not important. What is important is what I'm going to do. I just fucking hate this world and these human worms feasting on its carcass.
So let's begin with the story of Hatred, and just in case you may have been thinking there actually was a story in this game, then prepare for a little bit of disappointment, as the only real story in this is that you play as a fed up crazy guy who's kinda had enough of life and is now seeking to kill as many people as possible before he gets put down himself. Hell, we don't even find out the main character's name throughout the game, and the only bit of character development we really get is in the start and end of every mission and during the times he thinks to himself. But other than that, Hatred really has no main story to follow and can also suffer from some real cheesy but dark dialogue from the big guy himself. All in all, if you're looking for any scrap of story from Hatred, then move along because you won't find it here.
Prepare an ambush. It's time to shoot some canned meat.
Obviously, the story is not where the fun is at, so what about gameplay? Well, I'm glad to say that it is somewhat fun. If you have yet to notice what type of game it is, then let me tell you. Hatred is a isometric shooter which allows you to run around big maps, killing everyone you see with multiple weapons and blowing the crap out of environments. Think of it as a mix of GTA's Rampage mode and a more 3D Hotline Miami, minus the trippy visuals and soundtrack. But while actually playing the game, the overall experience is somewhat nice. For fans of various weaponry, you'll be pleased as Hatred features quite a bit of tech ranging from pistols, Uzis, shotguns, assault rifles and grenades, molotovs and so on. What's nice is that each weapon feels quite different from each other and they actually handle very nicely, so when it comes to mowing down your targets, it's dead easy. Now, don't go thinking there'll be easy opposition when it comes to you killing the masses, because not only will cops be putting up a fight, but there are times when civilians will run up to dead bodies of the police, and then they'll arm up and try and take you on as well. And even the SWAT and army forces try to take you down too, so you really gotta be careful as the enemy AI can really kick your ass at times because they'll try to flank around you, throw grenades at you and so on. But there will be times when the AI don't act too smart, as you can see here. When you are getting pumped up with bullets, the only way you can replenish your health is by performing executions on people, and these are violent animations in which the main character will stab, shoot, crush or something and the other to the selected victim, and these do look real cool and violent, but it gets kind of annoying when you are surrounded by a group of armed enemies and the only way you can replenish your health is by diving headfirst into them and trying to perform an execution, because what ends up happening is that you'll just die because you're going to get overwhelmed. It's moments like those when Hatred can get unfair and stressful to the point that it doesn't really feel like a fair challenge. When playing through the various levels, you will encounter different side objectives which, even though still involve killing, can change things up a little bit. An example being that you may have to kill the people who are attending the newest phone release at a shop, blow up a restaurant or even interrupt a funeral. Once completing these little side objectives, the game will grant you extra respawn points, and these are really useful because this game can get stupidly hard in the future levels, and if you run out of respawn points, then bang, you're done. Get ready to restart the entire level all over again, which can get really annoying at times. It just kind of made me want to stop playing this game altogether, but me being me, I played on. When navigating through these levels, you'll be surprised to find them to be quite open and not really that linear at all, but it's only really on maybe 2 or 3 levels that you're confined to more smaller set pieces so that the action can be a bit more intense. But other than that, you'll be traveling through your typical American locales such as suburban neighborhoods, town centers, piers, US military bases, even a train and a few more places. But what is nice is that each level contains a certain amount of destruction, as near enough every building and wall can be blown up for entry points or just for fun. However, even though Hatred can have, these levels which are, quite long, The game overall does suffer from some stupidly short playtime, which in total only took me 3 hours to finish, and other than a cruddy playtime, this game suffers from some pretty off-putting and gnarly performance issues, because at times the game can run at a smooth 60 FPS and then all of a sudden it starts hitting the low 20s and 10s, and I have a pretty beefy rig, so this really shouldn't be happening. Another thing to mention is that your main character can often get caught on various bits of the environment, and there tends to be the odd graphical glitch or two and weird camera angle when it comes to executing people for your health. Moving away from those issues and what was said before, graphically the game can look good as it carries a monochrome colour scheme throughout the whole of the game, with the only actual colour coming from the explosions, lights and signs on buildings and such. But yet again, I encountered even more problems due to this, as even though it functions as a good setup for the graphics, in practice and in gameplay it gets in the way, as it was hard for me to distinguish between certain targets and paths in the environment, making it hard for me to navigate at most times. I really wanted to like Hatred. I wanted to get by all the silly controversy and just get right to the heart of the game, and I have. And what I found was just another standard twin stick shooter with interesting physics and fun little combat instances. Hatred is not a horrible game at all. It's playable and will probably be working better once a few patches come out, but with what's there now, I would say that the game is only really worth it when on sale. The core idea of violence and destruction is something I can totally get down with, but the games suffer from being just a bit too repetitive, having a super short playtime, the odd glitches and FPS drops, and just overall not being too interesting. But if you want a quick and challenging game that is filled with violence, then Hatred may just leave you being satisfied. I want to say thanks once again to the developers who gave us this code, and thank you viewers who decided to watch this video. If you want more content like this, then stick around this channel or visit our awesome website at apgnation.com. I'm Jesse, and this has been my review for Hatred.
He's here! So, the time has come.